Maya, Govan and Melanine, I'm Rainbow Dave, this is my face, here's what I look like, and welcome to a slightly different episode of Tolkien Untangled. There's no script for this episode, I'm just gonna talk at you for a few minutes and share an announcement, give some updates, and ponder a little bit, I guess, on my thoughts for the future of this channel. And I guess I'll start with that announcement. After, like 6 years nearly on YouTube now, that seems crazy, but I started in the beginning of 2020, and it is gonna be 2026 in 4 weeks' time. That is awful. Anyway, for the first time in those nearly 6 years, I've decided that the time has come for me to set up a Patreon page and a Ko-fi account, so that if any of you lovely people do choose to financially support the channel, there is now an option for you to do that, hopefully for many years to come. I'll put a link to all the Patreon information and the Ko-fi stuff down in the description, and also it's probably somewhere on the screen, so if that's something that interests you, please do check that out. I'm thinking of potential rewards that I could offer to Patreon subscribers and channel members. Things like ad-free videos, early access to videos, updates on new videos, and I'm also hoping that maybe I could credit some of the most generous channel supporters at the ends of new videos. A few times people have asked me, like, why did it take you so long to set up any kind of donation system whereby fans can support the channel if they want to? And the answer to that is that, honestly, until recently, I didn't feel like I had the time to commit fully to Tolkien Untangled, and it seemed a bit, I don't know, like disreputable, I guess, to be asking for donations and taking people's money, and then spending my time working on something else that, like, I know isn't what the donations were for. Maybe that's a bit silly of me, I've been told that's not really how Patreon works, but my point is that, at least for the foreseeable near future, I do feel now that I'm in a place with my other creative projects where I can start committing more time to Tolkien Untangled. But I have to be honest, since taking a bit of a break from YouTube and then coming back to it, I have noticed that YouTube doesn't really feel like the place it used to be. I've read, not many, like 1 or 2 comments telling me that apparently my videos have a lot more adverts than they ever used to. I haven't changed the advert settings at all on my videos since I first started monetizing years ago. But even so, despite the apparent increase in number of adverts, the actual ad revenue and the number of views has plummeted recently. And I don't really know why that is. It is true I have taken a break, that probably has something to do with it, but from what I've seen of other YouTubers, it seems like there is a bigger problem at work here, and I suspect that has something to do with the rise of AI. I realise AI is one of those things that everyone has an opinion on, and there certainly are benefits to it, but I personally feel really quite allergic to it, and so I feel like I will say right here and now, I will never ever ever use any AI software at all at any point in the process of writing the scripts. I consider myself, at the end of the day, a writer, and I would take this channel too seriously to ever, outsource the creative thinking part of this process to a machine. I am aware, though, that one of, I guess, the more sinister parts of the rise of AI is that it is getting harder and harder to tell what was created by an artist and what was just churned out by software. And for that reason, I guess I can't really guarantee that I will never ever use any kind of AI image, because they're just everywhere, but I do promise that I will always prioritize actual art made by actual people. I feel like deep down this channel about J.R.R. Tolkien is really a celebration of human creativity, and I don't ever want that to change. Anyway, that's my little AI spiel out of the way. I'll shut up about that now. But before I finish this video, I want to talk a little bit about my plans for the near future of this channel. As I said, I feel now that I am in a position to commit more time to making these videos, and so I really hope, think, believe that 2026 is going to be a year of Tolkien. The very next video I upload, later this week, will be the first part in the Silmaril of Doriath series, which is the third to last of the great stories of the Silmarillion. I'm going to spend about 8 episodes on that, 8 episodes, and then after that it will be time for the Fall of Gondolin. It's possible that I might make, one of those filler standalone lore episodes. They are the ones that get the views and make the money. But the passion project for me is the Silmarillion series, and I am so excited to finally get to Gondolin, the thing we've all been waiting for. And I really do think in the first few months of 2026, I will start releasing those videos. And then, when we get to the end of Gondolin, there is only one last story of the First Age left to tell. The Voyage of Earendil and the War of Wrath and the cataclysmic conclusion to the Epic of the Elder Days. And although that is an awesome story, it's not a very long one. So I really do think that after Gondolin is done, I will move on to the end of the War of Wrath, and then that will be the First Age completed. After I've done with those videos, I do think I'm gonna go back and kind of rework, rewrite, recreate those first ever videos I did, the ones on the beginning of Days and the story of Feanor. Those are really important to the plot, but they were the first videos I ever made. I did not know what I was doing, really, back then, and I think they can be improved. There are a few mistakes that I made in those videos. I said that Laurelin was the male tree and Telperion was the female. That is the wrong way around. I mispronounced Mayoras in my first ever episode. And in one of the Feanor episodes, I think I said that Fingolfin's sword, Ringil, was forged for him with help from Melkor. That's really cool, because that sword is going to go on to wound Melkor, but I think that's just a fan theory. There is nothing in Tolkien that I've been able to find that actually backs that up. So my point is I kind of want to remake those episodes and improve them, because they're so important to the plot, but they're not my best work. And it also kind of occurs to me that maybe Tolkien Untangled would work well as a podcast. Maybe that's something I should have done in the beginning. So, as well as continuing to make videos, I think I might also upload the Silmarillion series as an audio-only podcast on podcast platforms to hopefully just create more avenues for future Tolkien Untangled fans to find the channel. We'll see. Anyway, after the First Age, there is of course a Second Age to explain and break down, and there is a Third Age. Then there is The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. There is my Lord of the Rings books versus movies series, which I started over 5 years ago? Sorry about that, but I do totally intend to one day continue and conclude it. I really don't think the day's ever going to come when I run out of Tolkien things to talk about. Like, such was the depth of the Professor's secondary world, his sub-creation. Anyway, the very last thing I'll mention, a few of you have left the loveliest comments asking me about my book, my main primary creative passion. And comments like that are so wonderful, they mean a lot to me. And the truth is, things are going really well, exciting times ahead. But the reason why I don't really talk about that on this channel is because within the world of traditional publishing, things take a really long time. Even as, I guess, an optimistic forecast, I think we're talking about at least 18 months before there would be anything for me to promote, and so I guess I don't want to, overhype something that I think is really cool, and then have to wait ages and let the hype deflate before I actually have anything to show off. So, all that to say, exciting things are coming in the future, and one day I totally will talk all about my other writings on this channel, but I think it's best that I wait for the opportune moment. Nevertheless, though, your comments and your questions are very much appreciated. And honestly, lots of lovely comments about how much you enjoy my writing and my ability as a storyteller could go quite a long way in moving editors and publishers along. So if you want to help me out, those kinds of comments are genuinely great. I think I'm going to start collecting some, so thank you in advance. However, that's about it for this video. I guess the point of it was to let you know about my new Patreon page and my Ko-fi account. I think they are the only ways that I can really justify committing almost full-time to Tolkien Untangled. And so if you are at all interested in supporting the channel, firstly, you have my heartfelt thanks. And secondly, all the information is down below in the description page, or I guess on the screen right now. Once again, very much appreciated. In the next video, I am going to start telling the tale of the Silmaril of Doriath, a sort of sequel to the story of Beren and Luthien, and a necessary stepping stone on the way to Gondolin. But until then, as always, my dear friends, much love, stay groovy, and Nevair Melanin.